reform in the legislature. And one of the things that I remember talking about was to abrogate the selective justice in Liberia on the justice pillow. So I was able to put forth the resolution for the War Crime Court and courtesy to the 54 signatories, and I received huge support from my legislative colleagues. And so I have been working well legislatively. And I took over a district that the roads are bad because it's semi-urban and also semi-rural, especially Bona Farm all the way to Mount Barkley. So I promised the people, and I think I'm trying to live up to it, not 100%, that I will try to rehabilitate most of the roads. We had issue with electricity. Now we can boast that we were able to work with LEC, World Bank, and some partners. So District 4 is blessed with electricity. We've been having some street lights. And my personal office, my own intervention. And to state for the record, this is the 3rd year in government we haven't received our legislative project. So everything that I have been doing is just for my salary and some personal earnings. So we have some intervention where we got a sanitation programs that we've completed 1 toilet in Dupo Road. We have 2 to do in the Mount Barkley area. We did a reconstruction of hand pumps to help the community during dry season. We have 5 to do in the Zubatown community. But majorly I've been involved with road rehabilitation, that which I was able to secure 2 machines that will help my district. So as I always say, I mortgage my salary. And I got a grader.
You mortgage your salary?
Yes, I got a grader and I got a loader. So every dry season, we do roads, like the FDA road, so cleaning road. We started with the Peloton road, we go all with the Peace community. So at least where the roads are terribly bad, the office can make some intervention to complement government effort. We also love it, and we're able to get a so cleaning road to be paved. That the contractor is SFF, along with the National Road Fund. And then we are looking forward for 2 other roads to be paved in our community. And so I've been looking at substantial development as compared to just a hand-to-mouth eating. So we run the Urban Initiative. It's a technical vocational skills training program. And so every cycle we try to train at least 200 to 300 persons. We have $8 million Liberian dollar in our micro loans. So technically we have a lot of activities coupled with government projects.
Well, congratulations. I think you're doing well. But you wouldn't do those things further if the salaries, because there's this whole debate now that's on about the further cutting of salaries of legislators. You agree with that?
Well, I entered the house with this 8,200 salary that blew up by the Liberian people as 15,000. That's never a day. For us in a lower house, we saw 15,000 salary. We went through the IMF program. They said the government needed to get through the IMF program, so we need to adjust the wage bill, what have you. And then the house agreed for us to fit in our program because everybody could see the economic hardship. And I think we're reduced to 4,900 or 5,000 something. And imagine I took loan on the salary that I made there.
Can you imagine that?
And I already lost in that amount, so I have to pay. So sometimes when you're making up statement, you also have to consider a whole lot of things.
Surely.
Yes. So
you don't agree actually with the proposal from your colleague that there should be a further reduction of the salary?
I don't want to get into politics because that's just a campaign bill.
Okay, that's a campaign bill.
Yes, so I don't want to get involved.
Wow, you describe it as a campaign bill?
Yes, I describe it as a campaign bill. So I just don't want to.
It means that apparently the person may have made the statement, for political reasons. To score some political capital.
This is why I really don't want to get there, because if you are really into, I don't like to get to talk with the senator because they represent landmark and we represent district. So if you are really in connection with the representative in your county, or if you are representative that really into your people, you will know that it's not real for it to happen.
It's not real.
Yes, and in as much as we all want this economic breakthrough, we also want it for representatives. we also want it for the common people. Yeah.
You're listening to the bomb. You said something, that really, attracted me. It says a campaign bill. But let's look at the overall performance of the legislature. There's been, being critical of the legislature in some way that you are not, living up to your statutory responsibility in terms of your oversight. Many people are not really seeing the oversight. Yes, you are making the bills, you are doing all those things, but your oversight, especially where you're supposed to ensure that an agency of government or the ministry of government, is courting and they act in line with what you propose were allotted. So what do you think about
so basically I was just talking about this, and I said to myself, I would do this injustice to myself if I should leave the house and just don't put a memo down to document my experience, my first time in politics, my first shot getting into government. So what you're talking and what the Liberian people are saying is theoretical, that what the representative is supposed to do as opposed to what the representative is doing, the House of Representatives. And I always tell people the fact that we always have this imperial presidency in Liberia, in Africa, is a problem. And the House has never been independent from the inception of this nation. Liberian people want the 54th legislature to be 100% independent. But to grade the House, I think there have been a lot of improvement when we enter 28 up to 2020. There has been significant improvement. Well, like people will always talk because
what have it improved in?
I noticed when I was there, we used to pass bill coming from the Senate, which people say the upper house. There's no upper and lower house. Bill will come from the Senate before, and the bill will not go through committee room. What's in the bill, nobody will know, because maybe the bill is the presidential bill, is from the executive, and so sometimes we used to pass bill like that. So we stood against it. I was one of those, and again, I don't like to say in legislature because I cannot do a damn thing. So we collectively, we saw that was wrong. And I think that Firestone bill, I remember it was passed that way, and it was really irritating and annoying. So we decided to stand to that. And today, we don't take bill from the Senate without going through committee room and people going. So that's significant improvement. There are also things that will come from the executive. It will just not go on an easy route as compared like the first year, that we came. So you heard about the Iboma loan, even though it was passed, but it was passed without controversy. And the same issues that we raised, those are the same issues that affected our bill. We had something about the mineral swap from China and XYZ. So we've been standing, we did a war crime court, and we've been doing some things. So there are improvement, but the Liberian people, the perception of the legislature that I wish the leadership of the House could do more. We need to have legislative hour or a bigger platform, the ELBC. So people really get to know what the representatives are doing. And you trust me, there are some people who don't know the function of representative. People take representative to be EDC boss, water and sewer boss, education minister. So people will see the education minister passing, you get issue with school, but they blame the representative. So
because the reason why many of you campaign with that sort of perception.
I'm sorry,
when I get
it's
there,
just
this
something
is what I'm
like
do.
A lazy argument because even you, the electorates, it's not possible. So why are you even buying into that?
So why did you promise the people?
It's almost like if you see a young girl.
So you are deceiving your people. Not deceive our people.
Yes, maybe.
So you are not part.
Yeah, if you see a pretty girl, you like her to be yours. You're not gonna tell her anything. Oh, that's just campaign. But as the elected, you gotta face the reality of the day. And I told my people, and I wish other representatives could do that. There's no way and that's why the country is not really moving fast, because people who you're supposed to hold to book for certain things, if you hold me for not having electricity, you hold me for not having road, you don't have your problem solved, because I don't have the capacity. The only thing I can do is to lobby. And yes, we lobby to get some. My district is not the only district in Liberia. So if I'm benefiting from road, I will not benefit from more than 2 or 3 roads in the national budget. If LEC giving 35 homes, I will not benefit from more than 3,000 or 4,000 homes, because there are other people too that have to benefit. So our problem is the people understanding the role of the legislature as compared to what they perceive that we have. Like people say, what have you done? What do you know that representatives supposed to do? So as opposed to that, so until the ignorance and those things can be upgraded, we still have a problem. And people want the legislature, I hear it was spineless. But how can the legislature have spine? Like if I went there and I bit up my spine and you keep stabbing me from my back, and I was over the other radio station without fear or favor, I said when you're talking about corruption, you gotta deal with exploitation. Until the Liberian people stop coming to a representative for unnecessary things, the legislature is not going to be strong.
You'll continue to be corrupt.
They will continue to be corrupt. Because I don't have to be representative forever.
Okay. Now, if you the entire body is doing extremely well and making some major improvements, it means that the leadership it's very strong and then driving you through. Do you agree with the leadership performance?
The House's leadership?
Yes, sir.
Well, I won't say very strong, but we are getting there.
Okay.
It's an open secret. It's not a very strong. We have a biased speaker, that's African politics, the speaker from the ruling party, and XYZ. So there's a little bit biases, but it's kind of improved than when we just enter.
Okay, it's kind of improved.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Bumper Show right here on the OBC 99.9 and other frequencies across Liberia. My studio guest is Representative Rustonlyn Suacoco Dennis. She's from district number 4, district
4 Montserrado.
number 4 Montserrado. I'm sure you've been following the politics. Yes, I know. I heard you when you said the bill seeking the reduction in the salaries of you all. It's a political bill. But you've been looking at the candidates and yes, I know you would not maybe you'll not be able to tell us as to which of them you think should be able to. But Joshua, from what you've seen so far, and working with some of them, listening to some of them, you got Montserrado, I'm sure, at your heart. You want a leader, someone, a senator, who can really perform, who can deliver, not just a senator who will be able to put a bill or some political bill or someone who just go to a tie center and talking. You want someone who can deliver. Have you been able to assess your candidate, your colleagues?
Yes,
in Montserrado?
there are a lot of people coming from Montserrado, but yes, I cannot predict the future because I'm limited by my human power.
Surely.
But I think it's between Representative Fala and Senator Dillon right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can be loud to say it has to be either of them. They are both wonderful colleagues of mine.
Have you been assessing them?
Yes, I have been assessing them. So like the race is between the both of them. Yeah. So it's not like the past race. This is more competitive. Senator Dillon is going against a 3-term representative. That's someone who has
a political will.
Yes,
a serious weight.
So it's a competitive election, and as compared. But my thing too, I'm thinking about more women in the house because we get the issue about rape, rampant rape, and we don't hear men talking too much about rape. So I want more women in the house because the issue about rape is on the rampage. We just had a meeting today, the Women Legislative Caucus. We should be meeting the gender ministry, and we were just having idea what's the issue about rape, and someone brought it up. The issue about drugs too cannot be overlooked because now young boys are raping the smaller girls, and once they're taking drugs, so the women, the children, the youth population is something that we need to focus on because the drug is destroying the young people, and I think the rape getting on the rampage with 21-year-old boys, 16-year-old as compared to the past. So we try to analyze the issue about drugs. So we have to do something about drugs, even killing the rape law about execution. So this is why I say it's not something hurriedly, it's something that we have to analyze. Because you see 16-year-old boy raping 3-year-old girl. Are we going to kill this 16-year-old boy? Did he rape on his normal mind, or is because of the issue about drug? What's about the rehabilitation center, about flushing? So Liberia has a huge challenge. So this is why I like to look at the problem. I come up with solution for the problem instead of just talk. So that's why I'm
so if you again, let me put this question this way: if you were to look at your assess your colleagues, like you said, someone who gone for who stayed for 3 terms, and another senator, if you were to assess them, like I said, you got Montserrado at your heart. You want a good for Montserrado. You want a senator that you can work with so easily, and someone who can understand. If you were to assess them, give us your letter grading, maybe.
Well, like I said, I haven't taken time to go through the two candidates in depth, but I know they are all members of the legislature and they are all strong candidates. They are potential candidates. And so, like I said, whether it's 7 or 8%, I see the races between Representative Fowler and Senator Dillon. Yeah, for now.
And you say, I'm not sure who could take the lead.
Who what?
Take the lead.
Well, it's not an easy battle. I can't tell you it's an easy battle. Even for Representative Fowler, I think it's not easy. For Senator Dillon, it is not an easy battle. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the issue of rape you spoke about. Madam Representative, yes, you said it very well. You've said very clear that the issue of rape is very, very important. And like you said, people just heard a meeting. But I spoke with the Ministry of Justice. Sometimes some weeks ago they were on this program through the Assistant Minister for Litigation, whose responsibility is that, and he made some point that the rape law it's very weak, and two, he's asking a proposal for capital punishment. If during the meetings today, during the meeting with your colleagues, what is it that the women are really looking for in stamping this issue of rape, in discouraging this issue of rape? How are you thinking? You are a leader amongst the women. How are you people thinking that this thing can be brought to closure once and for all?
Yeah, so one thing is like every man that was in a meeting and every woman that was there, everybody feel the pity, especially for what the children going through. So there's everybody against that. We want to come to an end. We do agree for some harsh punishment, especially for adult male. We do agree for some harsh punishment. There are people who in favor of the capital punishment and this execution. There are also people who like me who wants capital punishment, but you also want a due process because anyone could be victimized on lies, and you're just not going to do capital punishment. We need machines to check as to whether the semen of John that you see in little angel or little patient, as to whether it matches the semen of John, so that we don't be killing someone for something that he did not do. Because capital punishment, as a matter in criminal law, you have to give the person a due process. You got to prosecution have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that John did not commit that crime. So those are technicality. So for the adult, what I raise up is for the minor. I think I discussed this on the floor, and I gotta get that person in from Justice Ministry who talking on the law being weak. I gotta have a meeting with him where he thinks the law is weak. How can we strengthen it, and we can put it on the floor by next month, because we do want to strengthen the rape law. We'll get you with the rape law. Then we currently working on the drugs law. So for me, I'm thinking like if you rape someone from 0 year to 13 or 14. You've committed a murder there, so it's not something like the lady entice you. But the problem that we've been having when I was dealing with the rape cases, and it will amaze you to know that Liberian people got serious problem.
What's the problem?
Serious problem. When prosecution go after the perpetrator, it's either the uncle, it's either the stepfather, it's either the nephew, the family rape. So they do not want to go forward.
So they seek out of court settlement.
Yes, not even out of court. They settle it right from the police station, because you know the court will not be lenient on rape. So right at the police station, there was a case with an 8-year-old girl and a 42-year-old anti-husband. So the lady who was angry when the thing just happened in my community went to the police station. Then the whole family turned against the sister. So you are the one putting your sister husband in jail, and he's going to be in jail for lifetime. So those are the things that happening in the rape for the children, and the children are really victimized. My point that I'm going to get to the Justice Ministry. What do we do to those people who are justice and encouraging rape? I want them to be on similar thing as the perpetrator. So if the entity will try to conceive it, the perpetrator will go to jail for 40 years, they go to jail for 20 years. So that's the only way.
In fact, there's this argument that people who commit the crime, they go through the process, the legal process. If they are convicted, they should go for life imprisonment.
You know, for statutory rape, it's lifetime imprisonment as on the statute that we have. So what we need to do, those aunties, those uncles who try to cover it, we need lawyers that will come and help us. they must have some deterrent. That's the only way they will stop.
Sure.
So like the 8-year-old girl I was talking about, I turned her over to gender ministry, but then the law, I'm not going to sue. You who the custodian of the child, you should sue, but the woman cannot sue her husband because she got 3 children. If you put a man in jail for lifetime, so those are the things that we are going through. So the people too have to help in the process. They too, they've been given problem. I went to James Dairy Hospital, I went to Dupo Hospital, I talked to the health workers. They will come with the evidence, they will show me everything. I saw 8-year-old, I saw 6 years old, and I saw 9 months old baby, and I almost fainted. But the 9-month-old baby was done by the own uncle. And now the brother don't want the brother. So that is the problem with the raping life. So until we do something about those who trying to pervade justice, I don't think that is going to stop. Yeah, but it's a serious problem. And the parents do have to take care of their daughters.
Surely.
They will go to foreign country. You don't see people letting loose of their children. Those are things that happen in the society. Where people got strong laws that you don't go certain feet away from your child. The police will arrest you because those things, they have been happening. So I would just warn parents, especially girls' children, don't let your girl child to be loose because rape is on a rampage, and we are still finding solution to that.
Okay, you're listening to the Bumper Show rated on the OBC 99.9 and other frequencies across Mama Labera Sabo George is my name. I'm playing host too. Representative for Rustonlyn, Suacoco Dennis of District Number 4, Montserrado County. Rep, let me get your take on the general aspect. Looking at governance, I know you are from the legislature. You've been following the performance of the judiciary. You've been following the performance of the executive. What is your take? What is your reading in terms of deliverables, in terms of performance in the area of corruption, performance in the area of good governance, performance in the area of transparency, delivering the social benefits for our people, the social services and all of that? What's your own take? What have you been reading?
Well, to be honest with you, I think we do have a fundamental problem with governance in Liberia. So this should be if the year ends successfully, this should be my 3rd year into government. So I have noticed that we do have a fundamental problem in government. Not one branch of government, like Liberian people just focus on the legislature, like they don't have an understanding on what the 3 branch of government composed of. But we do have a fundamental problem. Even the judiciary system has a lot of flaws. The executive has a lot of flaws. The legislature too is it's not exempted from that. So I would just say we do have a fundamental problem. It's something that we all need to work together. Like when you're talking about oversight, so we have the power of oversight. That is a very important aspect of the legislature. But whenever we get in thought so with the executive, we expect the judiciary branch to be there as the final arbiter of justice. But where the judiciary too is crippled, the legislature is powerless, and the executive is just loose, there is a fundamental problem. It's a fundamental
So how can that problem be solved? Because the thing is, Mother Rep, the people, a government coming in will campaign on some manifestos, some things that they promise that they will do.
But not this government.
No, I'm talking about the government, any government coming in.
Yeah.
I'm talking about any government,
so
including this government.
No, it makes it difficult
including this.
To actually critique this government.
Why? Why?
Because I did not get the manifesto of this government. When President Weah was going, there was no debate, there was no manifesto. It was, I think, after that time, and people start to ask for manifesto before Liberian people got to know, before you get into the scene.
But apart from the manifesto, yes, equally so. Apart from the manifesto, you can give a take on the performance of someone, looking at the economy, looking at the judiciary, the rule of law, looking at transparency. Looking at the fight against corruption, give your take on that.
Well, I don't think the fight against corruption, I wouldn't give it a very good mark. For the fight.
Why?
I do have a communication on the floor for this Nobuski, sorry, I got the name, the LCC boss. So I joined with Orodopo and we prefer that communication, craving endorsement of the House to hold fast to the LACC operational fund and the budget until this allegation of citizen fraud can be settled because.
So how does that relate with corruption? How?
But you are the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission.
It's just a minute.
No,
It's just a minute for the corruption.
No.
If you hold his budget,
not just holding the budget. It's just that minute. You already have him there with integrity issues. You already have him there with that controversy. So who are you going to hold responsible? So we need to start from up to bring an end to corruption or to minimize it. We need to start from up. We need to start judging ourselves.
So we can minimize. We can end it. We can only minimize it. Is that what you say?
I don't think 100% for African society, but we can minimize to near zero.
So what is your communication saying?
Yeah, so we asking for that budget to be held until the issue of his alleged fraud citizenship can be resolved. So that's why we are holding on to, and I think we should be inviting him
to hold the budget of an institution. Do you think you are harming the individual heading the institution,
no, it's
or
just
you are or you are harming the people working in the institution?
No, if it should pass, it's just a strong message to the president that the guy needs to go, because no one need to tell Mr. President that the guy needs to go. So it will just be a strong message.
Do you think you're going to be successful in that?
Yeah, if we were kind of successful on the National Election Commission, because I was in Ghana, I was stranded. When it started, we raised that up with the Minister of State. We raised that up with the Senate Pro Tem, and then we raised issues about this, and it still went there. But when I came back, it also suffered setback, and so we are also anticipating that could also suffer setback. So like I'm saying, in corruption, I won't grade the government. I won't give 50% for corruption. I will
40%?
Below 40.
Below 40?
Yeah.
35%?
Below 35.
Okay. So, but we're not going to agree, huh?
Yes. So, I want us to be holistic. I don't want us to be selective in justice. It's just not this government that have been like...
Because the point is, one who think
that...
that...
something is 16 billion, 25 million. Do we have the full disclosure of what really happened, what went wrong?
But it was announced that nothing absolutely went wrong.
Yes, so
where there was no money.
No, it was just announced that nothing went wrong.
Nothing went
wrong.
So
where is the public document for us to read? As legislators,
Madam Rep. We had international inclusion. Participation.
We should have a copy. So why aren't they giving it to the legislature?
No, but which copy you make a reference to?
They had the
you saw the Scroll report.
No.
The Scroll report indicated that nothing absolutely went wrong. There was no 16 billion. People were just misinterpreting and misrepresenting.
We don't want you to tell us there is no money loss. We want you to.
But you saw the audit report.
We want you to.
How much?
We want you to provide the information.
How much document you wanted again?
We wanted to also be on a public website so everybody can be convinced. You see, when people talking about corruption, people talking about transparency. If you are not transparent in a certain instant, at least I want to feel
want to think that in this your analysis about the government's fight against corruption, you're not being fair. One.
How do you say
I'm coming. I said one who sing that way. I'm not saying I'm taking away.
African government and Liberian government with a weak judicial system. Corruption is high.
The thing is
very high.
We made a reference.
Very high.
You made a reference to the Scroll report, right?
Very high.
You made a reference, and there was international participation that's clearly stated. There was no money that got missing. Two, you are saying that because a guy who has a fraudulent, quote unquote, a fraudulent, allegedly fraudulent character or whatever it is, citizenship at a particular government institution, the guy, his budget should be withheld, but not taking into consideration the number of people working in that institution.
Let me tell you something about that report and how I just wrote it up. We made a proposal for the players to come before the house. Just 2 or 3. John said Mary did this. Mary said Peter did this, and Susanna. Bring John, Mary, Peter, and Susanna. They refuse.
But because your oversight is weak.
No, it's not.
But the reason we got oversight.
No.
Because your oversight is weak.
No, in the legislature, it's vote. in the legislature is vote. So you see,
so the other votes, overshadow over Webster.
Yes, you see CDC representatives coming up with the mandate from the party to vote against the people coming at the time. So it makes anyone to believe there's something here to hide.
Okay, let's go.
But if you have your government and you're fighting corruption, you should support us to bring other players.
Let's go for the rule of law. Let's go to the rule of law. You spoke about the issue of corruption. Let's go for the go to the rule of law. What do you think about the rule of law?
Did I see big men go to jail in Liberia for corruption before?
But you saw many people went to jail. You didn't see them?
Where
former government officials. They didn't go to jail?
Where
no, but they didn't go to jail.
Where they? Have you seen a government official in Liberia charged for corruption, went to jail and sentenced for 25 years?
We have a court system where you have to go through the legal. No, you have to go through the legal process.
I do agree.
And if you are supposed to be built out, you're built out.
So we want a transparent court system.
What's your interpretation of transparent court system?
Whether justice be for all. If you put a rich man in jail and you put a poor man in jail, as compared to some other countries.
But you saw many rich people went to jail, right?
I haven't
Even
seen
the former minister of defense, didn't he go to jail?
Look, thank you for bringing that up.
No, didn't he go to jail?
I was opportune to receive that petition from those people. Those people who had the issue about the former defense minister, Samoka.
The former military people.
Yeah. So when we went through that, there was issue about some 60,000. We made our report back to the house. We get Samoka to come and face the committee. Samoka will not want to come to face the committee. Okay, then it was great that Samoka went to the Supreme Court. He went to the court. He went to the court and you guilty and you're supposed to pay this money. They're more like, you know you are guilty, so just walk out and go and pay, Just walk out, because you are a big man, you former defense minister, we cannot keep you and blah blah blah. Yeah. So that's just a political.
Let's assume. Let me ask you. Let's assume, Rep, you were alleged to have gotten involved into a scandal maybe during your administration, and you were taken to court, and you told the court or your lawyers told the institution holding you responsible that look, I think my client can handle this. We don't have to, send my client to jail. My client can handle that. My client I'm coming. I'm drawing the analogy now.
That client is running in local county as senator, and when that client wins to the very Liberian people, then the very Liberian people come and blame the legislature and say the legislature is corrupt. So do you see what the problem in the society?
Okay.
I'm not saying he's guilty, but I think there's something that needs to be done in the election law. Thank you for bringing that out, especially when you are guilty for financial malpractices and for you to go into public office. It's a problem.
Okay, let's take just a course for 5 minutes and then we'll let you go. 0776 089 713. The line's been blinking there long since. Let me take this call quickly. Your name and where you calling from?
Good morning. I believe in Sorbor.
Just in a second. Yes, go right ahead.
Well, thank you. This is for buying more, and I speak to you from District number 4. Well, I think the representative, most of the time she goes on the radio, she contracts this herself. And she's not a true representation of what she's preaching. Specific reference to the issue of rape. The representative claims to be somebody who can advocate for the only issue of rape. But unfortunately, she's harboring a rapist in her office. There's an individual who raped a 16-year-old girl by the name of Bobby. That guy went to jail, and the representative used her influence to take that guy from jail, and the guy is still with her. Moving from place to place. So the representative is a monumental contradiction. And she is extremely distant away from people in District number 4. All of the community leaders in District number 4, none of them the representative is working with.
Okay, thank you. You made your point already. Your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Mariska Clark, calling from Boma.
Okay, let's hear from you quickly.
Yeah, I just want to tell the whole woman representative, thank you. Thank you for your elaboration. Like no government.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, you claiming that the bill is political bill. So for me, I'm disappointed in the government
Okay, many thanks, many thanks. You made your point already. Let's take additional calls. 0776089713 or better still 0880514096. Your name and where you calling from quickly.
My name is Roland Stewart and I'm calling from Orochiwa.
Okay, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I want to say thanks to the representative when it comes to the race issues you were addressing. But I'm somehow disappointed when she talked about they didn't see the document about the crew report. They used it to handle that issue, along with the embassy, and they see what public she was using website and more. Ordinary citizens are aware that if she being a representative telling me she didn't know this about it, that they said it to the Sabbath people. Thank you for it.
Okay, many thanks. And this other caller is on the line. Your name and where you calling from? Okay, let's hear from you. Okay. Another caller on the line. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Joshua.
Okay, let's hear from you.
Well, I mean, you guys they want to parliament that they can bring some money issue through. That's all I just went and do then take their own interest. Madam, don't make a very much. Thank you.
Okay. Another caller on the line. Let's take this caller quickly.
Good afternoon, Sorbor. I'm calling to the honorable representative. He is Putin. She also the courage to come. You know, but a lot of conversation in our articulation. The past government, the past 20 years, they won one case that I remember. I didn't do the issue about justice about winning, but on the record, we have a problem. It's the number one they press it for that record. The past 20 years, I didn't pass the government left. And the government is 2.5 years, they just won a case against the former defense minister. The government is doing well. The government is doing well. You know what I mean? Talk about the red law. The red law is very strong. To have international key that are very standard. We cannot get people down in the evil is that for them, some of people men or boys who raise our sister or mother. But she said, I will be on one point, and she said, the theory. Both the men and the women need to have some guidance on that theory. See when you let that theory fall loose. It's very wrong. So there's a lot of conversation with the female representative. I think she needs to go down and see and come back to really put to the ability to go. The city government is doing well. They come to road. She did not even give the government some percentage. She asked her, how can she create the government? She did to answer that question. She admitted that the government plays two roles in your district. What
You respond. Don't worry. That's this call on the line. Your name and where you call it from? Yes, sir. Okay, let's hear from you.
For life, I grew up. They got also fight for machines to determine what people are corrupt. They still how they were machines to determine what people break. They do also how they were machines to determine what people are corrupt. Because most of the people also like to get on the boat. They spend the money and then transfer the resources and invest it. And when it comes to the campaign issue about the rock bill, I grew up because this is campaign that anybody can come out to say.
Many thanks. Let's take this other call on the line. Your name and where you calling from?
Good evening, Sorbor.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to the honorable. This is Saros, where I'm calling from Northern County.
Okay, Saros.
Yeah, the big accusation in terms of corruption that is not good. People who in these houses, both the lower house and the upper house, they should be able to analyze, to articulate issues, to give proper information to the public. Now, they come to the issue of people corrupting system and participating in election and winning election to come to the both houses. Council Worker Committee. But I think I was going to quote. The court has that rule, so Mr. President cannot sack him. Are you, his position is pending. So if the court rule that his citizen says stand, and the president sack him, the government going to pay for the rest of the time he has to stay in that position. So the lawmaker, should have knew that. So until the court can speak on that, the president cannot take him from there. Because the court is the one who rule on in terms of valuation one citizenship. You know what I mean? The government is doing well with the role. The most of our when she went to banking, the government is very much says that we're out of the country. Great good. Great leader, you know what I mean? The government are more than salary. You know what I mean? She is telling me informed this morning for one of your super programs. In that one for you say you are making 4,725 US, and she is saying about 8,000. It's confusing. So the female representative is now fully funded. It's after that I want to go back to the client where it comes back so that to inform the people appropriately.
Many thanks. No, on the issue of the 8,000, I think she said it was the monies that she inherited there when she entered the house. Initially, people thought that was 15,000, but she said no, it was 8,000. That was slashed again, and she said currently they do have 4,000 something. Your name and where are you calling from?
Sorbor.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
And good evening to my lovely call on Suacoco. Somebody is Pochuku, Obosua Pochuku. So, I don't really know why is it that when you elect some of those people, it's always been misled by the power. It's unfortunate that on Suacoco, few days ago, few weeks ago, when President we are in the district 4, they have placards. All the placards, he was saying President we are in Suacoco 2023. Simply because President we are born, great grandborn. The placards are all on Facebook. Not only that, on Suacoco, you need to be informed that 3 months, or especially 3 months, are left in district 4. And you are aware. You can follow district 4 as soon your attendance on the today. So apologize to the people of district 4 for to create trouble and last the great people that this government has done nothing. It is the consequence. True, they can have evidence. True. Go there and today, if the community are living, you are empowering the community and district 4, the office that you say you have in people room, you have refused to pay that office rent. And besides that office has been closed. Now you are saying opening the office is opening. Now you are separated people room from full clinic. You are divided the district into 2. It's just unfortunate how Sorbor, with that of this year, when the Suacoco need to come to the national disco, was the 70. Now she's talking about belong. Now, belong carry the political bill. Everyone knows we are aware. You don't have to go and speak political extension on the radio. And we want to say to Suacoco that your failure in district 4 will not determine you becoming a lawmaker of district 4. I said that to our family. We have the key of district 4. It's automatically. You can go and
Okay. It's okay now. Let's take on the 2 more calls and then wrap it up. She has to respond to all of the concerns raised by you people. Let's take 2 more calls and then we'll wrap it up quickly. Your name and where are you calling from? Yes, sir.
This is Pastor David, and I'm from Discipline for District 6.
Okay.
Look, Sorbor, I'm not happy with the kind of discussion that is unfolding there.
Mm-hmm.
I respect you, and I always respect you. I think the Honorable didn't do us well, especially when she said that the government didn't have the manifesto. That's an insult to us as a people, and that means that means very deceptive. You can say that. You can come to the national radio station and maybe kind of authority. That is not just fair for us. You cannot say that. The government came for there was no manifesto presented to you. You want someone to come after you when you are running your campaign? Is that the reason why you people are sponsoring protests on the ground in the country? Is that kind of like what we want to see? And it's very unfortunate. You can come to the radio and talk to many kind of authorities. Well, I'm sorry, these authorities that I gave it to reach you in the opposition. So there you see the resilience. How many opposition in the past 12 years past, and the opposition really come to help here?
Okay, man. Thank you very much. I don't know what kind of checkpoint I really need to erect. I don't know. 07. Okay, let's take this final caller quickly and wrap it up and ask her to respond to the concerns and then wrap it up. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, Sorbor George.
Yes, sir.
And let me say good evening to the representative of District Number 4. My name is Prince Army Convoy, and I joined this national conversation from District Number 4. You know, Sorbor,
Yes, sir.
all of the calls that are coming from District Number 4 tells you that Madam Bennett is not performing well. All right? One key point that I picked up from our conversation was that there was nothing public as it relates to the investigation made by government through the intervention of international partners as it relates to this 16 billion saga. All right? But the truth here is she is pushing these studios that government does not say that this report on a website or what have you. But the fact is this is the same representative who when she made her first report in District Number 4, okay, when schools of sustainability gathered, she promised us that she was going to place her report on a website. And today, okay, this representative has given this report to the people of District Number 4, and the website that she promised us is nowhere to be seen. So like many of the corners of District Number 4 are saying that representative Dennis is the complete contradiction of what she normally says on radio to portray herself to be. But the truth is, she's massively failing, and we as people at District Number 4 will make sure that Madam Dennis is the nice machine come 2023. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Many thanks. Let's hear from her now. There are a couple of issues that she needs to address. Let's hear from you. I'm
Okay,
sure one of the first. Let me
thank
just
you so
remind you of something somebody said. I'm sure the first caller that you're speaking about rape, about somebody in your office, I think one of your staff.
I will get to that.
So let's start with that.
So, as a young person, and I always tell them, I come into public with confidence. I got master in geology, I'm reading law. So I will back every assertion by evidence. So if you notice a change in my tone, I will not talk garrulously. I will be very circumspect in my talking because every word that comes from my mouth, I must have proof, I must have evidence. I will not be talking stupid the way stupid people want me to talk stupid.
No,
As I said, when I
hope we can manage our words now.
when I get into
No,
studio,
what I'm saying, I hope we can manage our words.
we already
here.
passed over that. When I get into studio, I don't stage manage. You see, the first guy I call, follow me in District 4 in Liberia. Whenever I get in studio, folk by your mobile will call, Prince Aaron Gongwe will call, sometimes Ojuku to be friend. They supported a candidate that came with 445 votes. They say I was too young and I will not win. So that envy and that hatred in them, and I'm not going to go that route. If he feels that I supported someone, then he go to the court and send me there to the court. But I am convincing myself I did not do that too. I have to maybe be talking in simple English because many people really don't understand maybe when you're talking fast. The core report I said, during the time we're doing the debate, we had to put pressure for that report to come to the House. People just calling and just talking from the side court. Nobody could tell me the recommendation that Crow made. Crow made recommendation to the central bank. And that came to the banking committee. In fact, it was one of the reasons that we were 13 that refused to sign the printing of the 4 billion as compared to the 35 billion. We asked the recommendation that Crow made. Did the central bank adhere to those recommendations? I'm not talking about people who just talking just because you want to talk. I'm privileged. More than a lot of them are talking. Okay. And if you see, there's nobody from my PRO team call, nobody from my office call. I don't go to a radio station and pay people to talk. That's not the voice of District 4. The people of District 4 know. And to Ojuku, the government does not give me a dime to rent office. I was the only representative that had 3 offices in my district. People at District 4 in Liberia, how did I leave the Duporo office? I pay almost like $2,000 a year to the 3 offices. That's $6,000 a year. The government don't get all money as representative to run district. Other representatives don't have office. I took the office and people want to exploit me because I'm a representative. They believe that representative has money. After I pay the first year, the woman get her rent up twice and she said I should pay for 5 years. Where do I have the money from? So I closed the office. I had Liberian dollar again for the FDA office. I was paying almost $2,000. I called the landlord. I have your money in Liberian dollar. He said, no, he doesn't want the money in Liberian dollar and he wants a higher rate. I said, if you will not take it, then I will have to excuse your bill. And I left it. I am not forced to do what I'm doing. As I said, a lot of people don't know the function of representative. There's no contradiction in what I said. I don't see any contradiction. I have Rustonlyn Suacoco Dennis can prove. When I went to England, we went to talk about Liberia meeting the British Parliament. They asked us for our government manifesto. At the time, CDC did not have manifesto. When people started murmuring, people started talking before they went at SKD. Benedict Columbus, he was among those working at SKD. CDC won the election before they produced manifesto. If anybody want to counter argue, I have a proof. Before they came with the proposal development for agenda, you are in opposition in 12 years. You should have your manifesto. I'm not saying that the government does not have, but the government won and they did that work at SKD complex, and that's what I said, and I don't refute it. So people feel they say, oh, the way Suacoco talking, I'm not part of CDC. I just talk what I talk, and I just talk the truth from within me.
And there were concerns that you branded DeLonge's stuff
you
as
see,
a political bill.
we come in the heat of the political time. This is why I told you I don't want to dwell into the DeLonge's bill something, because I don't want it to distort what I came here to do. Meaning I want to talk about the rape, I want to talk about my district. I have never been a disappointment in my life, and I will never be a disappointment. If I don't be representative, I can live a better life. Or those who want to run against me, I will admonish those young men. Take the courage, be brave like me. Go to your home country, come against me in District 4. But every radio station I go, and you come there to call, I don't care. I just don't care.
So you are not losing ground with your people?
I am not. I am not losing ground. And even if I should lose ground, I still live a better life. Before coming to this job, I made $5,000 per month as a geologist, and I could keep money. Now I'm making $4,700. I don't keep a dime.
Almost the same money you're making.
I don't keep a dime. First time I've ever been broke in my life. First time for armed robber to even get to my house and leave valuable is something I left up. First time in my life, just into this politics. So it's a serious life with a lot of challenges. People don't have money, and people take all of the problem to put it on one person here. What do you want me to do in 65,000?
Okay, so address the issue that have to do with the rape now.
Well,
involving your staff.
What he's saying, I really didn't want to go that route. There's a guy, Edward Vani, he was with the same house raping issue. And so I wasn't in Liberia. I was in Ghana. He was arrested. That particular group, they sent someone to me and said, give them 500 US. So I just don't want to dignify them. And I said, no, I will not give money. In fact, I released the man of his job. Go and face the court. You face the court. If the court vindicate you, and you come. He was in jail for a certain time. Through the grace of God, the Holy Spirit bear me witness. He served jail for 6 months. He came out. He came with his paper. He came crying. Even the lady who was child had something, she looking for me today to beg me. Why should you implicate me in something I did not rape? I'm an advocate for rape. I'm an advocate for war crime code. I'm against drugs law. I will never do that. So you came to me. I am not going to give you money for you to cover a story. I'm not going to pay people for them to call in my favor.
Are you saying that your staffer was not involved? Is that what you're saying?
No. It was alleged, and I was out of Liberia. And I left there. I said, since this is the problem, I release you all of your job. He went through his process. And I think I will make him to come back maybe to the station. And he is a man, almost 40 years old. So why are you attaching me? But in Liberia, what the negative politics, so you just go around just to do...
So you reinstated him?
Sorry?
You reinstated him or what? Did you reinstate him?
Of course. They make him from jail with no evidence of rape. I didn't even see the girl. The auntie or so wants to come to me to beg me. I told him, release your job until you can free yourself. And then we went through it. He was free. A talking time, he got his job back. And that is what we want. Transparency. If these people were really in favor of setting good precedent, you can go and take it to court. He said, there's man rape, and this man is outside, and this man working with the representative. Why you don't take it to court? You just on ordinary story? No. Go beyond just mere talk over radio. Go to the court. I challenge you. Say, this guy raped. and they got the XYZ, and the guy is working with this honorable, and she's a lady. Then you are looking at solution to the problem. But everywhere someone goes, somebody rape me. No, you don't pin me black. I did not rape. My brother did not rape. My husband did not rape. My father did not rape. So why should I go with rape behind me?
Okay, let's get a parting comment.
Then,
okay.
Lastly, I feel sorry for the young people in Liberia, especially people who claim that they go to school. I went to Ghana for 5 days. I got stranded for 3 months. How do I apologize to people for being stranded? What wrong have I done? And there are Liberians who are there, who I gave assistance to, and they are still stranded. I was there with Honorable Mona Pena. We were in the same apartment. I had to leave her on a special arranged flight for me to come out. So, I mean, if you are at that level, I expect you to be intelligent. And you say, I went to Ghana, and is that what you call abandonment? What is abandonment? No, I didn't abandon the people. And it's amazing that he doesn't know what is COVID-19. He doesn't know what the virus is about. People scatter around the whole world. But you don't care because I'm a representative. I'm a leader. I'm a woman. I was there for 3 months. Even you go from here now, you go to Lofa County. You went for 1 week and you end up spending 6 months. It's a burden. It's a problem. But people don't care about leader, so just bash our leaders and do X, Y, Z. So I really don't care much about them. I go in studio, I talk what I want to talk, and I defend everything that I can say. So a lot of people say, oh, CDC, I bought her, no, CDC are not carrying me over. Somebody wanted me to say that George Weah had COVID when I was saying, how can I say George Weah had COVID? And there's no test result to say George, and the person texts me. He said, but you're sitting there and the president get COVID and he passing around. I mean, that's a sound person. You want me to get over and say the president get COVID? I can't be stupid. So if you want me to be stupid, I'm just sorry to disappoint you. And all of you who believe that in District 4, I refuse to be stupid. The only way a person can get COVID, they must be tested, the result comes up. And apart from that, I will not do it. I will not come over and cause the president. No, in District 4, the president, I was born in Sorbor. I became representative at the age of 30. That role has been our problem. I mean, the president going to face the role. I'm going to take rat to show him. I'm going to go and boo him. Some people have a picture. Some people have my picture and say we are united for development. What do you understand opposition to do or to be? Opposition will only differ on policy. When it comes to development, I support the government for roads. I don't say I don't support the government, but I will not come here to praise the government. I'm not a PRO for Joey.
Okay, many thanks, Madam Reb. I really appreciate your time on the program. We're hoping that we can have you again one day.
Problem.
Thank you for your time, and we really, really appreciate you a lot.
Thank you for having me today.
Okay.